everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my second video ever on this channel anyway. And today I thought I would talk about starting a business, especially if you're based over here in the UK. Some of my tips will be mainly UK based and some will be universal for probably any country in the world. But I thought I would do this video because whenever I am trying to find advice online, whether it be on Pinterest or just on blogs and stuff, I find majority of the stuff that I find that kind of appeals to me is American or Canadian. And there isn't a lot of British people online talking about tips and advice on setting up a business. And obviously sometimes the American stuff or the Canadian stuff or from any other country is still just as useful, apart from when it comes to down to things like tax, national insurance and things like some marketing tips obviously don't transfer over here because people don't use the websites that they use in other countries and vice versa. So yeah, I thought I would just do a little video about starting your own business. A little brief background for you. I'm now 21. Me and my business partner set our business up when we were both only 18, and we are now in our third year of business at the moment. We're on about 3.5 years of trading, and we basically run a videography service or video production service, depending on the service as to what word we use. If you want to check us out, you're more than welcome to. We are on Facebook. We are Jellyfish Video Productions. So I'll leave the link below if you want to have a nosy. But yeah, so what we did when we started our business, we went to the charity called the Prince's Trust. So I don't know if you've heard of them before. If you're from another country, if you're from the UK, you probably have. But basically, Prince Charles from our royal family, that's his charity, and basically they run a enterprise scheme which we went on to. It's for people between the ages of, I'm not sure if it starts at 16 or 18, but I don't know, let's say 18. Starts at 18 and it's for up to 24, 25-year-olds. Well, it used to be. I don't know if it still is. The age might have changed. And basically, if you get onto it, it's a free course whether you go on like a week-long course. It's like a crash course in business. So we kind of like learnt a lot. And the Princess Trust helped us out a lot, kind of like start our business. However, you are constantly learning when you set up a business. Sorry, my phone is ringing. I'll just be one moment. So, where was I? Yeah, so if you're someone watching this and you've maybe been thinking for a while, or you've just today thought, oh, I've got this idea, maybe I should set it up into a business and try and give it a go, do it, try it. You don't have to go straight in there, dive straight in there and do it full time, because we are in our third year of business and we still have part-time jobs. The business is doing great. That's not because the business isn't doing well, but you have to start off with a part-time job, and don't worry if it takes a while, basically. If you've got a great idea and you believe in that idea, then go for it. As long as you put the hard work in, basically, you really thoroughly think it through what you need to do, and how you're going to present your idea, whatever it may be, whether it be a product that you want to sell or a service that you want to try and sell. As long as you've got a clear idea and a clear vision in your head of what you want to do, just go for it. You've got nothing to lose, basically. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But yeah, go for it. So yeah, if you are like myself, or Becky, which is my business partner, we was obviously only 18, so we were very young. So you might be young yourself, or you might just be very similar to young people with a business head, where it's kind of, you haven't got a business head. You don't know anything. Like, for example, when I first started, I didn't really even understand what HMRC was. Obviously I now do, because it's kind of a major part of pretty much everybody's life if you live in the UK. But yeah, if you don't know what HMRC is, if you are a young person, it's basically the people who you pay tax to, who you pay national insurance to, who on a very rare occasion give you money back if you have paid too much tax, which will probably never happen, but it sometimes does. But yeah, they're basically the tax man. And obviously, so this is the most important thing that I want to make you aware of. If you want to set up a business, you can set up your business straight away, and you get 3 months to register with HMRC as a business. Now, not everybody is aware of that. Like, we wasn't aware of that. We thought you had to set up straight away before you could do anything. So we did that. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that. You can set up straight away before you do anything. It gets it out of the way, to be fair. But you do have a 3-month threshold where you, obviously, that's kind of like your taster kind of period where you can try it out. At the end of the 3 months, if you think, nah, this isn't for me, you don't have to bother registering, so then you don't have to bother with any paperwork. Obviously, if you 100% know this is going to work, this is what you want to do, probably do it straight away, get it out of the way, because you don't want to get any fines from HMRC, because trust me, they aren't cheap. I know from experience. And yeah, so you get 3 months. Now, like I've just said, you don't want to get a fine. Do not, after a year, think, well, no, not even, that's getting too far. After 3 months, don't think, well, I'm just going to keep, I'm still not 100% sure, I'm going to keep, trying it for a bit. HMRC aren't going to be like, oh, it's okay, you're still testing the water. No, they will fine you. So make sure before that 3 months is up, that 3-month period of you being active online to public, that people can see, people can physically find online when you started and stuff. Do not leave it any later. Make sure you register with HMRC as a company. And then that's when it starts to get a bit confusing. There's a lot of information online on HMRC or on the Direct.gov website, but then there also isn't as well. But in brief, you will either set up as a sole trader, a partnership, or a limited company. So if you set up as a sole trader, that can only be you that runs that business. And that is probably the easiest one as well. It's just basically, you're just self-employed. You can just basically set up in your own name. You don't have to register really a business name or anything. You can do, but it's just, as long as it's only one person running that business, you can be a sole trader. Self-explanatory. And then you've got partnership. Obviously, if it's more than one person, like I'm in a partnership, it's pretty much the same as sole trader, apart from obviously you have to register a business name and you have to register each person as self-employed that is running that business. The only downside to partnership that we find is that there's only 2 of us, but what we have to do is we have to complete a tax return for the business, then I have to complete a tax return, then Becky has to complete a tax return, so we have to do 3 tax returns all in one go. So that can be a bit annoying, but oh well. And then there's a limited company that you could do. Now, I don't know a lot about limited companies because obviously I'm not one myself. My parents actually have a limited company, but on the brief knowledge that I do have of it, it's basically you set up the company and then rather than being the business owner, well, you are the business owner, but you are classed as a director. I don't really know how it works, but yeah, you're a director under that limited company. And when it comes to a limited company, you have to register the name with Companies House as well, and kind of check no one else has got that name and things. It's a bit confusing. That confusing that I don't really know what advice to give you, but yeah, they're the 3 things: sole trader, partnership, or limited company. If you're brand new, like I was, you've never had a business before, you're fairly young, you never had a business before, I'm just repeating myself, aren't I? Either go with sole trader if there's just one of you, or if there's a couple of you, just go with partnership for now. You can always change to limited company later on. Just because you've chosen sole trader or partnership now doesn't mean you have to stay at that forever. You can change to limited company. So I would just stick with those for now, until you get to that point in your life where you're like, yeah, this is becoming a really big thing? Because I know that limited companies are better in the long run when you are earning a lot of money. But yeah, anyway, that'd be another video once I actually know what advice to give you on that. But yeah, so make sure you set up with HMRC. And obviously then that's all your tax and stuff sorted. If you want advice on filling out tax returns, I will do a different video on that, because that is a whole different ball game. But yeah, so my next piece of advice for setting up a business is sit down, spend a good afternoon, few weeks creating a business plan. Now, when someone first told me I needed to do a business plan, I thought, oh God, I can't be bothered doing this. Do I really need to do this? And even if you don't end up showing it to other people, it is good to get you thinking about what you need to do. You need to set yourself goals and things. And I think if you don't sit down and do that, then you won't get anywhere. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you don't plan and you don't organise your shit together, basically, you won't get anywhere. So yeah, with a business plan, what you kind of need to do is you kind of need to make sure you've got your name, and then think of other things around the name, as in, are you going to have a catchphrase, like a slogan? Are you the type of business that would need something like that? What is your idea behind the name? You need to think of things like that, because trust me, people ask you all the time, what made you think of that name? And if you don't have an answer to it, then people will just be like, does this person even want to have a business? Because they don't even know the reason behind their own name. So yeah, because we've got quite a unique name, Jellyfish Video Productions, people all the time are like, where did you get that name from? What made you think of that name? So yeah, what is your reason behind that name? You should have a reason, obviously, for you picking that name, because it should have some kind of significance to you. But if you don't, think of a reason, because people will ask you. And a lot of people said to us to do, think of an elevator pitch. And it's good practice. Think of basically a 30-second snippet that you can say to someone when they say to you, what's your business about? Think of a good, brief, overall description of your business in 30 seconds and keep it stuck in your head. Because trust me, people ask you all the time. That's another thing. People will go, oh, what do you do? When you're I don't know, at a social gathering, and you go, oh, I've got my own business. Oh, what's it called? Then they get into, well, what did you think of that name? And then they go, well, what do you do? And then that's when you hit elevator pitch. 30 seconds of a summary of what you are. Your best summary as well, because you could then that person will then either be like, all right, cool, and over their head. You can tell it's gone through one ear and out the other. Or they might stand there and think, oh, that's pretty cool, I might look that up. And then you might actually make them go from just listening to you for 30 seconds to actually getting their phone out and searching you on Facebook or on Google, which I know a lot of us do because we're nosy. So yeah, so that nicely leads on to my next thing. Make sure you are active on social media. Because in this day and age, social media is your I don't know, God. Yes. I don't know why I'm getting all religious. Social media is your thing, basically. I don't know, I'm just... Anyway, yeah, get yourself on Facebook, get yourself on Twitter, get yourself on Instagram, because, that's where everybody is. Today, everybody is on their phone constantly. And what is the first thing you do when you're talking and you go, oh, I think I might get someone in to do that. Oh, well, we don't know anybody. Well, straight away you're on Google. Straight away you're on Facebook, on these Facebook groups that people have set up now, selling things and services and everything. Straight away you might be scrolling through Instagram and you see one of these adverts and you think, oh, that looks pretty cool. That's caught my eye. You click on it, you watch it. So, yeah. Get on social media. Social media. If you're not on social media, you might as well not have a business, because no one can find you, because Don't waste your time doing magazine adverts. Don't waste your time putting things in the newspaper, putting leaflets through doors, because no one reads them anymore. People are on their iPads reading electronic versions of things, like reading blogs. How big is blogs and YouTube? Make yourself some YouTube videos, start yourself a blog. That is going to get yourself known way more than all the old-fashioned things that are probably written on all these things that you read online now. Don't bother posting leaflets. Don't bother doing a written thing in a written magazine that you buy in the shop. Magazines are still kind of about, but they don't get you any leads. What else is there that's old-fashioned? See, I know there's loads, but I can't think of any because I don't use them. But yeah, anything paper, basically, don't bother with it, because you're probably going to spend a fortune and get nothing back. So there's just no point. So yeah, get yourself on social media. I mean, there is some social medias that we don't really use. Like we hammer Facebook. Instagram we're quite good with. Twitter we're crap with. And Twitter, I think, is one of those things, like, I love it for myself. And I can tweet all day for myself. But when it comes to business, I don't really know what sort of stuff to tweet. So, and you will find that with at least one or two social medias, not necessarily Twitter, but it could be one of the others. You don't have to be on every single one, but get yourself on as many as possible. If you're not loving something, you're not loving it. You can't force yourself to post on something every day or every couple of days if don't know what to put. Obviously, you don't want to come across as like you've written something just because you needed to write a thing, a status or a tweet or whatever. It needs to actually seem like you wanted to write that content. But do try your best to get yourself on as many social media as possible, because it's, your Bible. There we go. Religious quote again. But yeah, it's your Bible. Let's say that. So yeah. Next thing, what's another tip I can give you? Marketing, probably. A lot of people say, if a business hasn't got a marketing strategy, you won't get anywhere. And to be honest, it is true, because we are now in our third year of business, and for our first whole year, we wrote a marketing strategy out with Prince's Trust charity. We had no idea what we were doing. The marketing strategy that we wrote down, one, was crap to start with, and two, we didn't even try to fulfill it. We started out, because we were quite naive, we were 18 going on 19, we were idiots, and we did think, well, people will just find us. We've got a Facebook page, we've got a bit of a website getting together, people will find us. No, they won't. You need to find people. Obviously, you can't go out like spamming people with messages, because no one likes spamming messages, because you just ignore them straight away. You don't even give a shit what the person's messaging about. But yeah, you need to get yourself out there. Don't just think that people will find you. So you do need a marketing strategy. Things like, it depends on what industry you're in and what sort of thing you're selling, but like with us, we are heavily doing wedding films. So like things like email places like blogs, try and get a feature on some blogs, maybe message like venues, this is things that we do, but we message like venues or like event organisers, see whether we could be their like recommended videographer for their services, like things like that. Like, I don't know, if you're selling a product, try and get in touch with some other companies and see whether you could get your product in there. People aren't going to come to you, you've got to pitch to them. And then once you do reach out to people, I've just mentioned the word pitch, you need to have a pitch to try and sell your service or product to them, because they're not just going to look at you and go, oh yeah, we'll give them a whirl, we'll feature them. They need to like you to want to feature you or put you in their shop or whatever. So, you need to sell yourself well. Kind of similar to what I said before with the elevator pitch, you can kind of start off like that with your 30-second snippet, and then you really proper need to delve in. You need to give them ideas of what sort of financial forecast you're hoping to get over your first or second year, and vice versa. obviously that's when it gets a bit boring, but you need to do it. If you don't do it, you're going to come across as like you don't know what you're doing, unorganised, and people just be like, oh, I haven't got time for that, because it's not going to get us any sales, or it's not going to get us any more people viewing our website or blog or whatever, so I just won't bother. So make sure you come across as professional, and in the way that you want to come across. If your company is about being professional, make sure you come across as professional. If your company is about being quirky and cool, make sure you come across as quirky and cool when you're pitching to people, because otherwise it's a bit confusing, and again, people will just be like, they don't really know what they want to do. So there's nothing more annoying than when you're talking to someone about their business and they're just like all over the show, and it's just like, do you even know what you want to do? Like I know this girl, I'm not going to name any names online, but I know this girl who's got her this business online. She's like on Facebook. She's got a really nice website and everything, but I'm not even joking. She advertises that she does photography, website design, graphic design, I can't even think what else. Literally, she's got a list of like 8 different things that she does, and I sit there and I look at it and I think, you need to think of like 2 or 3 things. Even that's pushing it for a lot of services, but you need to think of like 2 or 3 things that are your favourite services and just offer them, because she's like handyman Joe kind of thing, like I can do everything. Like, you don't want to be one of those either. If you're someone that's like, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and that, and next minute you've got a list of like 20 jobs that you can do, people will be like, are they actually any good though? Because they don't really specialise in anything. They can apparently do everything. So yeah, you don't want to come across like that. So yeah, I feel like this video is just me rambling at the camera and me just being like, don't do this and don't do that. But I hope this is helpful anyway. So yeah, always persevere. And a little quote that I made up in my head a few weeks ago is, money doesn't grow on trees, but even if it did, a tree doesn't grow overnight, okay? So don't worry if you don't really make any money in the first year, second year, or even third year. It takes 3 to 5 years, especially in the UK, for a business to become properly established and making a constant flow of money. Obviously, you always want it to go up like that, but don't worry if it's going up and then straight and then up and then straight and then maybe a little dip and things like that. Don't worry. Money doesn't grow on trees, and even if it did, a tree doesn't grow overnight. Just remember that, okay? So I hope you liked this video. I've actually really enjoyed making this video. If you have watched this and you really enjoyed it and you want more advice on maybe a specific business topic, if I can help, I will make another video. Please do let me know, either in the comments below or send me a message or whatever, or tweet me. I have Twitter, I'll put it below. So yeah. I hope you liked it. Please do give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Please do comment, and I will see you next week.